This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Slovenian countryside. The map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game mod hub, and this map is available for all platforms. Let me read you a little bit of the description before we jump on into the map. It says, this is a Slovenian map. All objects are made by real-life examples on Slovenian farms. Map has two farms. One is on the flat surface and has all the animals. The second one is on the hills and has only cows. Sheep are moved in the hill from the main farm. Fields are small and irregular shapes. One part of the map is flat. The second is hilly. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump on in. I will tell you that I did load this map up with straw harvest and seasons. There are no conflicts with those two mods and this particular map. Although I will say that this map does not have a seasons mask. So if you do play with this map and seasons, be aware that you'll probably have snow. If you play with a geo that produces snow in the winter, you'll probably have snow in buildings and under roofs, and hay and straw will not rot if it's left outside. So we didn't have the log up when the map loaded up, but you can see map loaded up error-free as far as the log goes. And here we are. So we start inside the farmhouse as far as our career start point. And if we go over here across the hall, basically you'll see the sleep trigger is right here, either at the entry door or inside of either of these two bedrooms. Steps, and find a another room up here. Out on this little porch. This is the main farm. Kind of a little office over here. Then we'll head on out to the main farm. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map. So it's a fairly small map. If we assume that this is a full-size standard map in size, you can see this is a very small playable area compared to what would be a standard size map. We have all of our standard crops available on the map, and if we take a look at the lands area, see that we've got some pretty small land, pretty small fields. Main farm here includes just one field, field number 2, and it is $117,000. Field 1 right across the street is $55,000. Sheep area is $44,000. Here is the secondary farm, $121,000 for that. Overall, given the size of the land, this is some pretty expensive land. $472,000 for that forestry area, $500,000 for that forestry area. But then we have this field here, field 5, $1,600. Field 3, $40,000. Area 4, $5,000. So why is area 3, 10 times more expensive than area 4, basically? Very interesting land prices, to say the least. Kind of quite the variety, and for the given size, kind of expensive. So if we take a look here, we have just 2 main sell points for our crops on the map. We also have the spinnery for our cotton and wool. 2 sell points for eggs and milk, wood chips, and then the barn for our hay, straw, grass, and silage. Start out with a decent list of starting equipment, given the fact that we own just one small field at the start. While we do have chickens, cows, and pigs at this starting farm. We do not have any animals from the start, and we do have contracts available. Field 30 is 0.3 acres, 29 is 0.52, 0.57, and 0.70. Like I said, a lot of these fields are really, really small. Take a look at our starting equipment. Start out with the Fendt Favorite 511C and the Fiat 1300 DT tractors, range in horsepower from 115 to 150. And the Bison Super Z056 harvester. That is going to include the Z056H grain header, SEK 802 Strawderman trailer, the E8000 slurry spreader. We have the front Pottinger mower, header, windrower, and then forage wagon. Got the Silo King PMR mixer, and that is our starting equipment. We'll say that if you start this map in farm manager mode or start from scratch, the animal pens are missing. They're not here. So this big building right across the street from us is gone. Pig area we're about to see, gone. Sheep, not the sheep, the chickens, gone. And the reason that's important is because we cannot buy them. There are no custom animal pens here in the shop. So if you do start from scratch or farm manager mode, you will not be able to have the farm as we see it today. It is a custom hayloft here. It is just the standard hay barn hayloft we all are kind of used to seeing. The outline of that. So that is a bit of a disappointment that if you do start with those other game modes, really can't have or can't put down this equipment. Across the street here, we have the silage bunker for our cows in this building here. You'll see the silage trigger come up. And then I thought this was kind of interesting. So over here we have a fence. Come up here and we just click, left click. That's kind of an interesting behavior, but okay. So then the fence slides out of the way. You do have access then to the upper portion of this bank barn, a loft area. We have the water trough for our cows. This is the milk trigger dairy portion, and this area is also the dump station for the hayloft. So this is a hayloft that will allow you to store hay and straw, and then our output for our hayloft is right there. This is the straw and feed trigger for the cows. Hey, this really is set up for someone that pretty good at driving, because this is a really narrow door. Have our slurry point, and if we see, there's a hole down there. If you play this, like I said, in farm manager or start from scratch, this building is missing, which means that there's a huge hole here that you're going to need to fill in. We have our manure pit. I was doing the reconnaissance on this, where I bought the cows at. Our cow trigger. Got some of our equipment over here, and then kind of nestled back here is the chicken trigger for our chicken coop. Then we have the feed trough trigger right there in front. Really not sure where the eggs spawn. So maybe they spawn inside there and you have to come inside and get them. Area really isn't marked off. Then this, interesting enough, this is a log cell point. That is the log cell trigger right there. Sell your wood. So I have a log cell point right here on the main farm. Harvester header. Harvester is around the corner here. Then this is the pig area. We have the food trough for the pigs. Slurry point. Our little manure pile. Water trough. And then our pig pie delivery point right here. That's our pig area. And again, this building is not here if you start in Farm Manager or start from scratch. Again, it's kind of a disappointment because you can't get it in the shop. So you'd have to be putting down your own pig area, which is clearly not going to conform to this land. That's pretty much the starting farm area. Go ahead and get set up for the fly around. I will fly around the map and just take an aerial look at things. At that point, we will settle down at the shop and drive around the area and take a look. This is the, should I say, flat portion of the map. He said that the main farm was kind of on the flat area, and then the one that was just cows was on the hilly area. So this is flat. Really see the small size of these fields, and why certain fields are certain prices is interesting. So the left field is $40,000. The right field is $5,000. Field here on the left includes some land that's 40 grand. Field on the right includes land that's 5. Pretty interesting change in cost there. I mean, maybe because we've got a grass pasture back here. I don't know. Everywhere that's kind of darker grass is going to be fertilizable grass, so you can get more yield out of that versus the lighter color grass. Just going to be map grass. Got over here. So much of this stuff is so close together, it's going to be hard to discern a lot of these triggers, but we've got like our bale trigger there. Bale trigger, we have port southeast. Then we have a shop trigger. The bale trigger, port southeast must be this right here. Then we have our shop trigger. This is going to be our customize and sell trigger. Here, not seeing the actual shop. Maybe we can go inside. Then we have the shop trigger inside. Yep, there it is. Back to that in a little bit. We have our animal dealer, sell point, fuel. But we don't have a fuel icon there, so maybe that's just decorative. Get over here into the fairly densely populated forest. Again, the forest land is really, really expensive here. We have the sheep pen over here. So you can see where the main farm is right there. Then this is the sheep area. We have the water trough. Food trough. Quite a hilly area indeed for our sheep. Looking for is the animal buy trigger. Seeing that come up. Sometimes when we do fly mode and we're not fully out of fly mode, we can hover just over these triggers and it not activates. So there is your keep delivery and buy point right here at the door. Then this is the second farm over here. So this is the second cow area. So we have our water trough. We have here is our silage for second cow area. We have our buy trigger. Food trough in here and our straw trough. Trigger. This is just decorative. Standard crops are taken by our animals. Standard outputs. As far as slurry goes for this particular area, got slurry right here on this little drive-through, and then the manure is going to be piling up over here. I think the milk trigger is also going to be over here by these milk jugs. That's also the milk trigger. This is then classified as the Hilly farm. That is a pretty big grassy area there. Definitely on the hilly side. Alright, so let's go ahead and head back to the shop and do a bit of a drive around. So, as I said, right here we've got the shop trigger on the inside. Go ahead and get our Mahindra. Then also here at the shop area, we've got one of the two sell points. We're going to have to back into this. That's an interesting way of dealing with that. We have our bale trigger, our barn trigger. Go ahead and head on out and sneak down through here. Drive through the water a little bit. Way over here to the second buy point. And then we have the animal dealer. Flying. Alright, so we've got the animal dealer right here. It's showing up in the mini-map. Okay, as the animal dealer, spinnery, grain mill. Okay, but when I come over here, I'm not getting the animal dealer promptings. So we've got the spinnery here also, so this could be the spinnery icons. If you look at the actual triggers themselves, okay, we see a big, see that one there. And then we see this one here. We don't see any more. We don't really see 3 or 4. We'll be seeing 3. Typically, our cell triggers aren't this pronounced. So I'm really thinking this is the spinnery and the wool cell point. What I don't know is why we're not getting prompted for the animal dealer. This seems to be the animal dealer trigger. It seems to be what should be the animal dealer trigger. Not coming up for us. We should be getting that prompting when the F1 menu. And we're not even seeing the F1 menu pop up. But when we get close to the vehicle, the F1 menu does pop up. So we should see it pop up over here. So I'm thinking the animal trigger is broken or just completely obscured and is somewhere that I'm not picking up on. Go ahead and just take this road around and just drive around the roads a little bit because really everything is up here. We've already looked at all of the triggers. Looked at the main farm, we've looked at the sheep, and we've looked at the cows. So we've pretty much already covered most of what's going on here. Shouldn't take too terribly long to drive around the map because it is just a subset in size based on a standard size map. Definitely a hilly map for small equipment, small farming. Someone likes to play with, 8, 9, 10, 12 meters equipment. Stay off of this map because you're going to be frustrated, you're going to be angry, and it's because the map is not made for that. In comments before on really really small maps where people are like, I can't get any of my equipment around. You know, I'm trying to use the Great Plains seeder, and I can't get it anywhere around. I can't get into any of the fields, and it's like, because that equipment is way too big for the map. So there is such a thing as right-sized equipment for the map. Same equipment isn't good every single map. They say to yourself, well, I don't want to play on a map that I can't use X, Y, Z on. Well, that's fine. Every map isn't for every person. Map for somebody might not be for you. Super hilly. Little fields, plenty of room to expand these fields out to encompass, you know, the full land area that you're buying when you buy the land. This would be a great map for someone who wants to do hillside farming. Here is that cow farm that we talked about. Church up here on top of a hill. Probably the highest point on the map. Right here. Fairly expensive, but very dense forest area. So even if you just wanted to do kind of hillside forestry, might be an interesting map to you. Let alone leave the farming aspects behind and just come through here with your forestry machinery. Again, you're not going to be using super big forestry machinery because the log at some point is back there at the main farm, and you've got to navigate in and around all of that. So some of these buildings are pretty cool, like this one here. It's really just a decorative aspect, but it's multi-leveled barn. You have the underneath and the above. Then I guess what I've learned is these things here immortalized in a video. Somehow that got turned on. These things here are kind of, I guess, for landslides, avalanches, or just keeping from having massive drifts across the roads, is what I've kind of learned those things are for. Whoa. Alright guys, so sound off in the comments. What do you think of Slovenian countryside? And until next time, happy farming. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell.